Martha was the dog that nobody seemed to want. But squirrels are another story. The first time the squirrel came down to her face, she just let it. Now, as soon as we get to the park, they come down to meet her. The squirrel kisses her paws. And they trust her so much.
Can I give you a boop?
But I never would have thought that Martha would be able to be around squirrels. Martha was at a rescue in Los Angeles. I actually went to visit. They brought me out the dog that had been there the longest. She was very standoffish, and she also has a really big scar on her back. But when I met Martha, who didn't like people at all, she climbed in my lap. I knew that she was the dog for me. And I said, okay, we're going home. Afterwards, they told me that Martha Collie would never really be able to be around other dogs or animals. Most boxers are super playful, super energetic, but she's kind of a grumpy dog. No kisses? When I first got her, she hated all dogs, and she didn't really like most people.
Don't think it squeaks anymore.
She would see squirrels and she would stop, and she was not aggressive with them. So we just started to sit down next to the tree in the park. She realized that if she held still, that they won't run away. And it just kind of gradually progressed where they just started coming down and kind of hanging out with her. She gets very excited when we get to the park and she pulls me to the tree. Honestly, it doesn't really make sense at all, because there's no dog that lets them come up close to them. And she's a sweeter dog because of hanging out with the squirrels. I never thought that would happen. Martha's a completely different dog than when I got her. I think a lot of it has to do with the squirrels. Seeing how sweet she can be. That's why I tell her story of how aggressive she was. I hope it can change people's mind about dogs.
I don't know if this is the best method to feed a cow.
Jenna is the cow who thinks that she's a big dog. She has her own window to get attention pretty quickly. And knocking on the window is definitely one way. If we leave, like, she's very dramatic and very upset about us. She's just got this attitude like no other animal that I've ever met. It's the Jenna show.
Oh, thank you. Is that my Christmas kisses? Jenna came when she was 3 days old. We wanted to rescue a dairy cow that any farmer would just sort of give up for free. And Jenna was born with a twin brother, which means that there's like a really high chance that they'll never have babies. And so typically on farms, they just don't need them. I came down to North Carolina in like SUV, loaded Jenna into the back of like this car. She was just like this cute little ball of fluff back there. And she was definitely very timid, not sure what was happening. There was definitely a shyness to her. But she clearly was slowly showing some of her Jenna personality right away. She was still just like a baby. We love to do all sorts of things together.
Jenna!
And she'll follow us if we're in like cleaning the chicken area or something. I play the guitar, and as soon as I sit down singing a song, first thing she wants to do is just put her head over me in some way. She's just like happy and relaxed. She closes her eyes and just goes to sleep. Occasionally she'll forget how big she is, but she's never actually hurt me. She is just like a little 1,400 pound lap puppy.
Jenna is really special and she does have all this personality, but she also is just a regular cow. And so there probably are, tons of Jennas. And it's so sad that those are sort of, snuffed out. Cows are excited to see you. They're sad when you leave. They want affection and attention, and they're playful.
I didn't really expect that sort of connection and interaction, but it's just like being two best friends. I can't imagine not having the bond that we have.
When I first saw Bodie, my heart sank. He's 9 months old and he was kept in a dark stall, tied to a wall for 4 months. He was so scared, he struggled to walk.
And his owner was going to sell him to the meat trade.
I needed to do everything I could to get him out of there. It was really difficult to get him in the trailer because he was just in such shock. He hadn't seen the light, and then all of a sudden he's supposed to walk into darkness again. It took some time and coaxing, but he went in. Once he got in the stall, he was basically frozen. He was so terrified of people, especially hands. So most of my work in the beginning was just being near him. And then I had to work on being able to touch his face.
But we're getting there.
He saw that I was patient and willing to wait for him. Once we built that trust, everything else just started falling into place. Bodie started following me. And every time I called him, he would come back to me. He would have his head over me, maybe I would scratch his chest. And it was the most special, amazing feeling ever. I started seeing like little bursts of zoomies. Bodie started meeting like all of my other horses and developed this brotherhood, which was really beautiful. He had the happiness of Gandhi or something. He was just glowing. Everything transformed. It was like from black to white. After owning Bodie for about 2 years, in winter, he started to colic. I actually had multiple vets out, and we did try to save him, but unfortunately, he passed away. The most special thing about Bodie is his resilience. Bodie's journey inspired me to rescue horses. And I am so happy and grateful that I was able to make that last part of his life just beautiful.
This crazy wild little kangaroo was my baby from the beginning. She followed me everywhere in the house, 24/7.
Good job.
She would cuddle into my neck. She is exhausted. If she couldn't see me, they'd go and actually sit against something furry.
You can't come up too.
It's quite cute.
Your little paws. Oh, there she is. See this, Zira? Everything the light touches.
But bonding with her, I knew that it was going to be hard. Her mum had unfortunately been hit by a car. And so as wildlife rescuers in Australia, we got a call to go and pick Zira up. When I opened up the towel and looked inside, there was just this tiny little baby. I remember looking at her and just thinking, my God, she's absolutely gorgeous. Zira was very nervous. She wasn't quite sure what a human was at that stage.
Oh, I don't think you should be getting out of that basket.
But I just looked at her and I said, it's going to be okay. I took the time, bonding with her and sitting with her and talking to her.
Stop eating that.
One night, little Miss Bossy Boots marches herself into the bedroom and decides that she wants to be fed at 2 a.m. It was the easiest way in which I gained Zira's trust. Zira and I would spend hours sometimes walking around the paddocks together, and she would want to know where you are and what you're doing. But as she got older, she was very, very cheeky. If she did not want to be out of that pouch, she would go and find it, and Zira would go and lay underneath the house in the dirt.
This is a sloppy mess right now. Blech.
She would move further and further away from the house and stand within a radius of the other kangaroos. So I knew straight away it's time for Zira to be outside. When she joined the kangaroo mob, you start seeing less and less of her. Sometimes she decides to visit the farm or come by and kind of pop her head in. And whilst it's very sad and whilst it does break your heart, it is so beautiful to watch her grow up and kind of move out with these kangaroos.
He would just bark at us and say, look, give me attention now. And if we're not giving him enough attention, excuse me, no, then he turns into a bit of a brat. Look, this is you. You're more interested in what's in here. He'll try and steal stuff from us, like sponges or cleaning brushes. Give that look back. You naughty boy. But as long as he's happy doing what he wants to do, then we're happy. Because the condition he came in was quite terrible. Hello, can I help you? Loki was bought by someone that didn't really know what they were doing. Unfortunately, the owner did pass away, so the owner's family returned Loki to his breeder. And he said to us, I've got this raven, I haven't got the space, so I'll probably just have to put him to sleep. But we were like, well, you can't let that happen. He was very aggressive, very scared of everything. And if you tried to get him on the glove, he would attack it. So I had to change my tactics slightly. I would sit in his aviary for maybe an hour a day. I had some food to trade with him. It got to the point where you got comfortable enough to take the food and then eat it on my shoulder. I remember putting my hand out to stroke him, and I'm thinking, I'm going to get bitten, I'm going to get bitten. And when he allowed me to do it, there was a huge sense of relief. I thought to myself, this bird is forgiving humans now. When I do come, for him, he gets really excited to see me. Oh, you happy boy! You happy boy! If I've been really well behaved, he'll give me human things. It's yours, you can do what you want with it. A lot of people think that I teach him things, but actually I've not taught him anything. It's just him being him. Can I get a pop pop? Yeah, boy! For example, the gua sound he does. When he first did it, it sounded so human, and we started laughing. he found that funny and interesting. So it's almost like he's entertaining us.
Oh my god. What are you doing? No.
He is a free-flying bird, so we let him out every day, but he wouldn't survive in the wild. I couldn't believe that a raven, who is often seen as an omen of bad things, can be really affectionate, and he wants to be close to you.
Good morning.
Fast forward 8 years, he's a completely different bird.
What?